We're the nation of today, and as leaders and as anybody, you don't have to be the most prominent figure. If you want to make a positive impact, the best way to do that is to be the leader you've been called to be. And Leadership Academy has helped.
I'm Louis Jackson, and my major is liberal arts. I joined Leadership Academy because I heard good things about it. A couple of the faculty members recommended me, so I thought I'd give it a try. And when I heard the word leadership, I thought that it'd be a chance to better myself.
My name is Deja Nurse, and my major is liberal arts, and I got involved with leadership because I was actually nominated, and I thought it would be a good thing to be a part of, so I wanted to join.
I'm Jared. I am a law enforcement student. I joined leadership to get more involved with the student life here at Chesapeake.
I'm Benjamin Callahan. My major is currently undecided. I got involved with Leadership Academy because I thought it would be a unique experience and I would get to meet new people.
My name is TJ Greenwood. I am a computer science major, and I joined Leadership Academy to better myself and become a better person.
I'm Kristen James, and my major is elementary education. I got involved in leadership because it seemed like a great place to meet new people and learn some new work skills.
My name is Eliza Mendoza, and I'm a criminal justice major, and I chose to pick leadership because I wanted to work on my communication skills and as well on my leadership skills.
I'm Sean Wabi. I'm majoring in communications, and the reason why I joined leadership is to not only add something to my resume, but my mother also was in Leadership Academy, and she had all nice things to say about it, and I wanted to give it a go for myself.
I would define trustworthiness as a trait that is necessary to a leader. If your team or anybody you're working under or for doesn't trust you, and if you don't trust yourself, you're not capable of leading anybody.
Trustworthiness. I would define it as someone that's dependable, someone you can trust, someone reliable. That's how I would define trustworthiness.
Respect. Respect as a leader, to me, or in general, is respecting others' opinions. If you don't respect others' advice or different suggestions, then you close a door and it's kind of hard to get that open again.
Responsibility is doing what you are supposed to do when you're supposed to do it.
Responsibility is not something that you should do, but something that you have to do. In the case of a mom or dad, they have to take care of their kids and keep a roof over their heads.
As a leader, you're responsible not only for yourself, but for your team and for their actions. So it's important when something goes haywire to step up to the plate and say, that was my responsibility.
I've learned that it's super important to be accountable to what you commit to, and that you should be responsible for your own actions and fixing those actions if they aren't exactly what needs to be done.
Fairness, we all had ideas, and even I, who's kind of the quiet one, still was able to voice my opinion and still be heard.
It's important to be objective in all situations, especially situations that can be pretty sticky. You need to treat even the people you know better than others like they're the same people, regardless of what's happened.
To split the work evenly so everybody has an equal contribution.
Fairness, that's equal opportunity for all.
I think caring is showing compassion for someone else, or anything else really.
It's important to keep in mind that your team is not composed of robots. They're people just like you, and they have feelings, and they need to be encouraged and reassured that you need them.
Caring is what makes a group thrive. It helps build great relationships, and it helps everyone feel like they're included in a group setting.
Caring, someone that's nurturing, loving, just like makes you feel comfortable around them. You know, just makes you feel like you have your peace, like your peace, like your little safe place. That's how I define caring.
Citizenship is more than just having the ability to go out and help the community. It's having the need and the desire to go out and help people that are less fortunate than you.
When you help give back to the community, that you feel like this little warmy feeling in your stomach, and it flows all throughout your body and you feel really good.
Helping out the community helps the community thrive and also makes you really feel good as a person.
Citizenship, that's just doing the best for your community, and I learned how to be a great citizen through Leadership Academy. And it's just helping your community, helping the people around you achieve the things that they want, but doing the little things that you can do.
I learned a lot more about myself. It was pretty interesting to know more about what was important to me, and it helped me get a little bit more direction. And that's part of what this entire course is about, is learning more about yourself as a leader. So it was a great first step. I learned that it's pretty important to not only worry about long-term goals, but those fun, short, everyday term goals that you set for yourself. Those are just as important.
I learned a lot about how I need to break down goals in order to make them less scary and overwhelming. I learned that I should begin with an end in mind and think of where I want to be in my future and set goals based on that.
I learned that it's important not to procrastinate. Now this may seem obvious, but even if it's something you enjoy, I've learned that if you consistently procrastinate, then you'll experience burnout and you'll lose the joy in what you had fun with.
I learned that time management is crucial for deadlines and that I should break it down into smaller deadlines so it's not so overwhelming and I'm less likely to procrastinate.
Time management is that everybody's bad with time, everybody can be better with time, and it's just a mental process of seeing what's best for yourself and then getting going with self-motivation.
When you don't use your time wisely, you tend to tumble with other things that's going around. If you don't have a schedule or something that sets for time management, I don't think things don't go out smoothly.
For the Focus 2 Career Prep homework assignment, all of my careers that it gave me all dealt with giving back to the community, and I spoke with an advisor about them, and she said that what all of them had in common was basically that I had a big heart and that I need to help people or I'm not going to feel like I'm doing a good job.
Focus 2 Career Prep, well, if you remember, I made up a career for myself. It just basically narrowed down my values and my interests and just see what kind of best jobs suit my interests and abilities, and I really dug that.
I learned that there's no such thing as a cookie-cutter leader. It's not a stereotypical person on a pedestal surrounded by a bunch of others. There's different types and they all fulfill different roles. It's okay not to be the prominent figure. The dishwasher is just as important as the person who has the loudspeaker. Nobody's replaceable. Everybody's important. You don't have to be in charge to be an important part of the team.
What I liked about Top Chef was that we as a group had the ability of controlling this event. We had the ability of knowing what was in the menu, how we were going to manage our time, on who was doing what. So when it came to Top Chef, I enjoyed being able to prepare for the event.
Building with Habitat, I learned a new skill. I also learned that building with a team can make the work much more fun. There was never a frown on my face that day, except for the rain.
I am a person that I do things to help others, not to get something out of it, but to just help others. When it came to that, I liked the fact that I was involved helping other people, like painting. Some of us were out, I think like fencing and like nailing things. I like the fact that I feel good about contributing to something that helped others, not just myself.
It's important to surround yourself with people who care about you and who understand your situation. If you ask advice from someone who's not qualified, then you're not going to get a good result.
Paul Reed Smith taught us how important ambition is and how you should start from the bottom to work your way up to the top. And he also taught us a lot about how much leadership means to the individual person and how you shouldn't just let other people determine where you go in life.
Mayor Stanley, I took away that good leaders come from all walks of life, whether you're born into a leadership role or you have to build your way up.
Remember your roots. It's important to not forget the people who got you to where you are. You didn't do it all by yourself.
If something bad happened in your past, you should learn from it and you should use it to empower you so that it motivates you to do what you really want to do.
Even though she is where she is, she stayed humble. You can tell as soon as she came in, she's humble. Her political, I guess, views or where she's at hasn't changed her. She's a very inspiring person. After meeting with her, a lot of things that she said was very inspiring.
Paul Comfort, he had this piece where he said that if you find where your interests and abilities intersect, then it's that sweet spot. And you'll really like what you do in life. And I actually went home and got out a big whiteboard and like started writing down all my interests and things I thought I was good at. And I'm still actually doing that right now.
Even if you don't start in the right spot, or if you don't land where you thought or you dreamed you would, work your way to the top. As Mr. Paul Comfort said, you're in the game, baby. It's important, the people that you know, and that you keep not giving up. You just work for it.
From Paul Comfort, I learned to always look for opportunities of advancement and never think that you're too good for a job, and that you should always try and work your way up in a job position.
He captivated you when he was giving his presentation on what to do. When it came to him and he spoke about integrity, I never looked integrity, oh my God, I can't even say that word. How do you say it? Integrity. Integrity the way he did it. I never looked at it in that way. And like since then, when he gave us that presentation, I look at it as that. Don't do things, you know, just to impress somebody. Do it when no one's watching. So I took that off from that.
Paul Comfort really inspired me. He got me thinking, because after our discussion with him, he was talking about, you know, your abilities and interests, and that's where your destiny is. And we actually pulled up to the 213 intersection to go home, and there was traffic. And Paul Comfort, he pulled up, and if you know, he observed us. He told me that I reminded him a lot of himself when he was growing up, and then he actually looked into politics, and I've been looking into politics ever since.
Rabbi Peter Hyman taught us that you can peacefully resolve anything.
Great leaders always have a great vision and show integrity, and that they encourage others to give back to their community.
Dr. Trita Parzai was my favorite of all the guest speakers. I learned that great speakers about politics can actually be unbiased. And one of the things I also took from that was that a great speaker should leave their audience with more answers than questions. He answered all my questions, then made some more questions, and then answered them right away.
Leaders should look to the past for guidance for the future, and that it's not wise to overlook attempts at compromise from others.
That a good leader is a great diplomat. He was talking about, you know, our current situation with Iran, and he put it modern day, kind of put like a modern day example on it, and I really dug that, because we always talk about leaders like old leaders, and it was cool to see that modern day example of good leadership.
With Dr. Vinyar, I learned that being at the top of the pyramid, you must make sure you have a sound base, because without the sound base, the whole pyramid will collapse.
What I took away from our meeting with Dr. Vinyar is that whether you're the president of a university or a community college or the CEO of a major company, the smallest things require the biggest decisions, because you're dealing with a lot of people's educations and a lot of money.